Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Vobie One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, Richard Vobes, on the 8th of February 2021. It's 8 o'clock here in the UK time, but somewhere where you are, it could just change. The big hands on the clock keep moving. It's very difficult to stop them. You ask the man who climbed up the Big Ben Tower in that film, The 39 Steps, with Robert Powell. Isn't it true that he was clinging on there desperately, or was it Robert Donut? One of them went up there to try and stop the bells from going bong, bong, but it wasn't in the original book by John Buchan. I know, I read it. Anyway, never mind all that. The lovely Julia is standing by. Let's make sure that she is there and all primed and ready to go. Hello, Julia. Are you there? You need to unmute yourself, of course.
Well, it wouldn't be the Vobes show if I didn't do something.
Maybe I should introduce you each time saying the lovely Julia just about to unmute herself.
Maybe that might help.
How the devil are you?
Surviving, thank you. How are you doing?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you very much. I've been waiting for this deluge of snow to come belting down and drown us so that one can push against the door. And then, you know, like the igloos that the Eskimos... Are they Eskimos or are they the Inuit people now?
I'm not sure if either of those words are now offensive, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah, those people who live up in the land that the Eskimos used to live in before they got a little bit tetchy about how to be called with their...
I think Inuit's the right word.
Inuit.
But don't quote me on that.
I won't. I certainly won't.
I can't keep up.
No, I know I can't keep up. There's too much PC anyway. We don't have too much PC in this show because I continually break the PC mould. But not to worry. So you're all right. You've been out in the snow, haven't you, lovely Julia?
Yep, I got Joseph out in the snow for half an hour yesterday, and we had a good time. It was the first time he'd seen snow, so that was good.
What did he make of it?
He was fascinated. He was just enjoying being out, really.
Yeah, he loves getting out, doesn't he?
He does. He slams on that door every day. Bang, 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 bang. Let me out.
Let me out. I know somebody else who bangs on the door all the time.
Let me out, sir! Let me out!
Shut up, Eric. You get down there and archive the show.
Righto, sir.
I'll have to throw down some food. Are you hungry?
I'll have a bit of everything, please.
Yes, he's very hungry. Anyway, we have hopefully we got some viewers out there, which would be nice on a very cold Monday evening. It's my son's birthday, actually. He's 26.
Happy birthday, Billy.
Is all that cake has been eaten. 26 stone. It's incredible. Anyway, yes, let's find out who's out there in the Vobe show land, lovely Julia.
We have the lovely Ernie Samat, the lovely Tall Podge Rog, the lovely Judith, the lovely Mark Donny McLeod, the lovely Paul Cockerill, the lovely Linda Kane, the lovely Colonel Crag Ratty, the lovely Glyn Horton, the lovely Kerry Baldwin, the lovely Steve Baker, the lovely Ed Loud, the lovely Sean Ford, the lovely Tracy Murphy. What's going on with my chat? That's surely not everybody on it.
That's all there is. There's only 103, and you went through them incredibly speedily.
More like it. Wait, let me scroll big up. Scrolly. The lovely Station Master's Choice, the lovely Jeff Sussex, the lovely Ron Langley, the lovely Audrey Forbes Hamilton, the lovely Jonathan Fox, the lovely Paul Smith, the lovely Kathy B, the lovely Eastbourne couple, the lovely Dave of Yorn, the lovely Andrew Norris, the lovely Woody Jenny, the lovely Jen Colley. I nearly did a Vobes. Jen Colley.
I think everybody should change their names regularly so that we catch Julia out at the beginning of the show, because it's very hard work doing all these names. And of course, as we get more and more people, clearly this roll call, we're going to have to devise a way of speeding it up a bit, because if the show gets very popular and there's 1,000 people watching, it'll just be an hour and a half of lovely Julia calling them out. No, but that's where I think people should change their name just to catch you out. It'd be great. Anyway, sorry.
See if I can get me some tongue twisters in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll let you carry on.
The Green Man, the lovely Wilf Meyer, the lovely Henry's Adventures, the lovely, looking for a new name, Rick M, the lovely Robert Baxter, the lovely Jackie Traynor, the lovely Ed Loud, I think I said you, the lovely Beery Boater, the lovely Ian Dance, the lovely, I think I'm repeating myself now, but Robert Baxter, and the lovely Jackie Traynor, I think I said you, I'm confused now. The lovely AABB, and I think, the lovely Mark Burgess.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, Roy Ballinger, the lovely.
The trouble is people are joining all the time, and so that
Yeah.
just compounds everything somewhat. Now, listen, ladies and gentlemen, on tonight's show, if you happen to have a pair of headphones, if you have a webcam and an internet connection, then the chances are that you could end up on our special new feature tonight. Oh, didn't work. Hang on. I have to do that. Be a Vobes Show guest, ladies and gentlemen. You can be a Vobes Show guest on the show, and you can, throughout the show, we're just having one person to be a Vobes Show guest who would join the lovely Julia. We'll put you up on the screen, and we watch the videos. Hopefully you'll see them, but you'll probably have to watch them on YouTube like the lovely Julia does, because it's a bit complicated, isn't it, Julia? And then the three of us can have a conversation. Now, in the past, we've managed to do this with a number of people, but it got a little bit too much. So in terms of, the computer handling it all, but also the sort of back chat and all of this. But if you're interested, then you need to let the lovely Julia know, and then she will tell me, because Julia has the eyes of the hawk, and I am as blind as a one-eyed man.
I wish I had the eyes of a hawk. Just to add, we also have the lovely Jeffrey Harrison, the lovely Lee Lawson, and the lovely Mike Stevens, because I wouldn't want to miss anyone out.
No, absolutely not. That's right.
Just so you know.
And if Julia misses you out, she'll give you a $5. Well, it might be a bunch of fives, actually.
High fives.
High five.
Because I'm old school.
Yes,
yeah.
Excellent.
That's old school now. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah. Old school, eh? Golly, what does that make me? Anyway, let's not dwell on that. So we have 3 videos in tonight's show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you a little bit about them. We have in tonight's show a video from Richard McGowan. We have Mike Stevens and Sean Ford, who has got his continuation of the Discovery Walk, in which the last time we saw him, he was looking for the invisible viaduct. This time, he is looking for the not so invisible, there's not a word, is it? Invisible, well, it's a lake, but it's not a lake, not a pond, but he'll tell you. He'll tell you. It's all in there. We also have some art. We have Lance, I think it's his cousin or a friend or a bloke who lives across the road who knows a man who's got a dog whose owner drew a picture once that was photographed and put in the Thames and recovered by a bunch of school kids who showed it to their teacher, who ironed it with a towel and sent it in. Something like, I can't remember the connotation there, but it was something like that. And Pete Telling, Colonel Cragratty, has is absolutely keen to turn us all into mountain climbers, and he has sent in some pictures of his gear close up so that we can inspect it, so that the next time he goes up the mountain, we know exactly what stuff he has. So we've got all of that in today's show, so I hope that's going to be all right with everybody.
Fantastic.
Reservoir, that's the word. Reservoir, yes. Reservoir, pond, lake, puddle, body of water. Oh, what can it be? Reservoir. Of which I think there was a film, wasn't there, about a reservoir.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, there was these dogs that got into the reservoir, and I think they saved some penguins. I can't remember who was the filmmaker was. He didn't he do the same filmmaker did something about the Beatles with their paperback fiction or something, if I've got that right. I think it was something like that. It was all about a novel in which what's the name of the woman in the what was her name? Eliza Doolittle? No, not Eliza Doolittle.
That sounded like one was a women.
No, the woman in the song paperback. Is it Eleanor Rigby? That was the word. That was it. Eleanor Rigby sat on a cheese and went for a swim with the reservoir dogs. A poor old reservoir Rigby. I think Eleanor Rigby was the daughter of the what's his name, Perrin character, who was in Lost Damp. The Rising Damp with Leonard Rossiter. If I may have got these slightly bunged up, but you never can tell. The rise and fall of. Anyway, there we are. Eleanor Rigby. They all know. They all know. What rot is it he's saying?
I was thinking Mrs. Robinson, but
Oh yeah, but the Beatles did a song with Eleanor Rigby, didn't they?
yes, they did.
Yes.
It's one of the few songs I can play on the ukulele.
Yeah, there we go. So it was all that Pulp Fiction stuff with the Reservoir Dogs in the Beatles' Eleanor Rigby song in Paperback Writers. That was where I was going with it. There's strange fuses of connection in my head. I might just
Going down.
float myself, but that's a bit too low.
That is.
There we are. Is that good? Desperate, says Colonel Craig Ratty. Yes, we're all desperate. We're all desperate. Reggie Perrin. Yes, fantastic, wonderful series. So, do we have you been alerted to anybody who wants to play a guest in our special role tonight, where you can be a guest in the show? Yes, you can.
I've seen people say they won't come on.
Oh, right.
Michael White says I won't come on as you will think it's a horror show.
Ah, no, I'm sure that's not true, Michael White.
That's not true because I'm on it.
Yeah, and I'm on it. It is the very odd bald entertainer show, VOBES, very odd bald entertainer show. You couldn't make it up, but I did. So all right, well, shall we watch a video to start the ball rolling?
Yep.
Yep.
I do have a volunteer for coming on later on.
Oh, do you?
Yes. Yes, Sean Ford.
Sean. Oh, well, that would be great. Sean Ford, I wonder if I can send you... Hang on, I'm going to see if I can do all of this live. Let me just go into my special thing here. This is the link you use. This is a manual one to add... Yeah, okay. Guests on. All right, okay. Hang on. Just talk amongst yourselves here. Copy that. So, Sean, by the magic of emails, if I can find where your email is, let's have a look. Sean.
In the meantime, have a listen to this. Satisfying.
It is very satisfying. I like it.
I shall find it
the
satisfying.
pink comb. Okay, Sean, I think this is... I've sent you an email, and in theory, you should be able to get that and be able to join in. So you just click the link and put in all your bank details, and you then sign the indemnity to say that you did it deliberately and you're quite happy to hand over the keys and your house and the mortgage and all the flashed cars over to the lovely Julia. And then it's all good. And then I don't get arrested for any of it, you see. I'm just the man who washes the money in the laundrette. So, yeah, so you'll basically be asked to add your phone and or your however you want to contact it. Now, this may all go, excuse the phrase, tits up. It may all go pear-shaped because often we have a few complications on this. I need to go into the ninja room to be aware if Sean has... I may have sent this to a completely different Sean Ford. That's the problem. If you've got an address book and you've kept the same address book for years, have you ever done that? And you've got duplicate people but who are different. If you've had clients, and I've got clients, and I go, wait a minute, that client is not the person who I think... And then you get an email from them and you think, oh, this is all very prim and proper. Oh, no, it's not. It's from so-and-so. I don't know if anyone's ever done that and sent the wrong stuff to the wrong Sean Ford by mistake.
I've made errors like that, but not because they've had the same name, just because I'm stupid.
Yes, I mean, I've had that on the... in Ninja now, he says. I'm looking, but I can't see you. He says he's in...
Open your eye.
I have my eye open. So just so that people can see what's going on, here is the Ninja that this is the control room, you see, and Sean should appear here. He should appear here if he's in. But and Julia should also see him because she'll have a thing like this.
Whoa.
Yeah,
All I can see is myself. Oh.
And that's normally me, but I can't show you that because this is the show what goes out, you see. So Sean should have a screen like this with me, or the show, Julia, and himself, and I should see him appear here. So we may be struggling, and that's and that's my email account. We don't want that. Right? Okay. Where have we gone? I've lost everything now. So what we will do is I think we will probably play a video and see, unless Sean's. Julia, keep a lookout for him in case he turns up in the thing. You can get lost in the outer stratosphere here. It's all very complicated, but it, if it works, and it's quite entertaining. Is Sean saying I have a blank screen in Ninja? Do you?
Yeah, that is what he's saying.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a video. We will watch Sean in action, and then hopefully when we come back, we may actually see him. So that is the plan. So let's go into the video box. Sean, hold on. I may have to send you another link. Let's go in the video box and have a look at where Sean is, following on from the walk where he went to the viaduct that was not there anymore. And so, ladies and gentlemen, oh yes, now I've just got to fiddle with your sound because it's quite loud at the beginning and then you're quite silent. So I just need to pay attention to this and mix the audio as we go. Here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Sean, going out on my third Discovery walk. This carries on where I left off on Discovery walk number 2, where I got to here and we were talking about the viaduct and the railway line. I'm now going to get to that reservoir that I wanted to get to on my original walk. Because it's waterlogged over there, I'm going to do a long cut through here, through the field. Hopefully the young bull isn't there, because he was there a few months ago, which was quite amazing, but you weren't too sure. I wasn't wearing anything red, but you have to be careful. So go through that field over there and then so forth. And then pick up at the reservoir itself, made by human hands, which came upon itself because they built a bypass Coombe Valley way. Okay, off we go then. This is all new for me actually. I've never been up this way before. This is takes you up to a little farm which is absolutely lovely. There's some cows and bulls and sheep all grazing, having their morning breakfast. There they are over yon. And you can just walk along here. There's a path for horses, and up here some people in front of me on their morning walk as well. Oh, here comes a cyclist, brace yourself. Swans! That was a bloke on a bike, by the way, not the swan. Now that's where I got to last time. If you watched my Discovery Walk 2, I was banging on about the viaduct. And as you can see, I can't get across, it's completely waterlogged. So I've come the long way round, and now I can at last get to the reservoir just by going under the bridge. There's the traffic. Just about hear it. It's a dual carriageway, going both ways. Let's look at that reservoir, for goodness sake, get on with it. And here it is. Mighty reservoir. So go and sit over there. Actually, there's a little bench you can sit and look across. In the summertime, springtime, or any time when there's plenty of sunshine, absolutely gorgeous. It's a very misty day, 6th of February 2021. There you can just see the vehicles going across there. Lots of new trees on the hilltops by the road as well. Let's go and sit down, have a cup of coffee, and then call it a vid, as in video. Even though it's early February, whatever time of year, nature always gives you so much pleasure. And it's a grey, misty day. I've been out here so many times in the hot summer, springs and autumns, doing all sorts of things over the last 10 years or so. And even before this was here, this was just all land, so they've obviously dug really deep to put the reservoir in, and the amount of wildlife out here is uncountable. As I said, it's my arm's wobbling. Hang on. As I said, it's a place where they're doing special studies, specific studies on nature. There's little boxes and trees and things like that. So it's a remarkable place. Coombe Valley Way, you hardly notice it. And of course, Coombe Valley Parkside. It's a huge area as well. Always worth an explore. Whatever you want to do, just for a walk or a little research. Wonderful stuff. Thank you for watching. I shall sign off now because I don't want this to go on for too long, of course. And hopefully when the weather gets nice, we're going to have snow tomorrow, but when the weather gets nice, we can all come out and do some more videos.
Well, what about that, ladies and gentlemen? Wasn't that amazing? Fantastic. Great to get to the reservoir. We enjoyed that, didn't we, lovely Julia?
We did.
And we're very pleased to tell you that Sean has made it through the back door, down the little special pipe, up the ladder, past Eric, which was rather unfortunate. You didn't molest him, did you?
No, sir, I didn't touch him, sir.
I'm very pleased to hear that. So we're going to go now. I've got to do this slightly different way than normal because I've got to try and bring him into the situation. So first of all, I can unmute him and just say, hello, Sean, are you there? And he should be able to hear us. Can you hear me, Sean? Right, okay, so I thought we might have a few technical issues. First of all, I'm going to try and bring you onto the screen. Hang on a minute. Let's have a look. We do this, add to scene, and there he is. Hello, Sean. Now, you've got an echo. I think the lovely Julia worked out one way of getting rid of the echo from the person on the screen's point of view, because you told me about that you did the other time, didn't you, Julia?
Yes. You should see a little, if you hover your mouse over your image, there should be a little blue bar, timeline bar, and then to the right of that, there should be a little a speaker bar. If you mute that, that should do it.
Muted.
That's good. You're very quiet. Hang on. I wonder if it's me.
Yeah, I've got a little microphone.
Live at 5. It's very, very quiet.
Oh, probably the microphone.
Oh, yeah,
just
that's
talk
a bit
straight into it
louder.
like this, maybe.
I'm just trying to work out where you've come in
Yeah.
on the system.
I haven't got the settings on my Chromebook, so
Oh, right.
it's my works one, so it's all rigged up for my work laptop. So
Oh, yeah, that's
if I
nice
just do
and
that, it
loud.
might be all right.
I must say, I like your tie, Sean.
It's very smart.
Thank you. Yes. Man of fashion, but cravats, I think is the French word, like reservoir.
Isn't the word cravat actually a Croatian word?
Oh,
Andrew Norris will tell us.
is Andrew Norris
You could
out
be
there?
right. Yeah.
He was.
Andrew-
Hopefully he still is.
Andrew Norris, is cravat Croatian? Is it because it sounds like Croatia, lovely Julia? Is that what you're getting at?
No, well, I can't remember exactly what he said. It was a while ago when he said it, but I'm sure it's something to do with it.
Oh, right, fair enough. Well, I'm not going to argue. He will know. Yes, he says it's a Croatian word. Look at that. It's on there.
My brain does work sometimes.
2 points.
So,
2 points to Julia.
how the devil are you, Sean? It's lovely to have you on the show. I'm going to see if I can just
you.
manipulate the pictures around a little bit somehow. I'm not quite sure how I do this. Hang on a minute. So the video there that you just did in the reservoir, where is the reservoir? Just remind me what part of the world we're in. Yeah.
Well, I'm in Bexhill, and the reservoir, Coombe Valley. I can never say Coombe Valley Way. I keep thinking of something else. So Coombe Valley Way is the relatively new road that's been out there since 2015. So it's the bypass really that takes you through from Bexhill into Hastings, or St Leonard's first of all.
And
Yeah.
oh right, how
it's just at the
lovely.
back of me,
So
literally,
have you had all the
out the back of the
snow
house.
in your part of the world? Because I know Judith is out there, and Judith told me this morning. We have a little private chat thing that Julia, Judith, and Matthew Holdsworth and Mr. Suggett, when he's around, that we have a little sort of conflab from time to time. And Judith said that she'd had a sprinkling of snow, didn't she, Julia?
Yes, she did.
And we didn't really have very much. There was just a tiny, tiny little bit of sprinkling. You know, it was barely even that, really. But it tried to do more. Somebody, I think, said that there's more tomorrow.
Supposedly.
So yeah, so you got enough, have you?
We've had enough here, I think. Yeah, well, it's probably about. I didn't go out and measure it. Maybe a couple of inches, but it was just slow and very pleasant to look at. But I always worry because I think, oh, someone's going to slip over, or something's going to.
I'm not very. Oh, hang
Beautiful
on, sorry,
stuff,
wrong
though.
button. I'm not keen on driving. There, I'm just trying to big you guys up a bit. There we go. A little bit of bigging you up. I'm not keen on driving on the icy road, especially now I've got my van. I've no idea how it handles on icy roads.
Well, our cars really aren't rigged up to it. Is it which one of the countries up in Norway or somewhere like that where they have their cars are made for it, aren't they? They have chains around the wheels all the time or something. It's our country's quite strange, isn't it? We don't get intense weathers, but we get diverse weather. So one minute it's snowing, next week it could be quite warm again.
It's because we have so little of it. It always comes unexpectedly, and then we're always. What's the phrase? We're always sort of taken unawares, aren't we? And then the transport plane always get in problems. But it's the train services that always seem to have the wrong leaves on the line, wrong kind of snow. Exactly.
Take the viaducts
You'd think
away,
at some point they would just get on top of all of this, because it does come at least once every 5 years.
I've noticed something lately on your videos, Richard. A lot of not a lot of, but several North Americans and Canadians have commented on the fact that our weather here is, from looking at your videos, is actually quite mild compared to what they get over there.
Oh gosh, minus 15 or something. Somebody said, I think, on one of today's.
Isn't it because we predominantly get the southwesterly wind coming from the southwest, and that brings up warmer air from the
prevailing the prevailing winds?
We get the warm air from the equator, which suddenly warms us up and things like that. So I've got a photo here of the smattering of snow that I woke up to this morning. I don't know if that can. No, that's not going to work. Nope. Nope. Oh well, I tried.
Judith says that there was quite a bit of snow, actually, out where she is. And Benita is bragging about the snow, or that may be a comment to Judith, I don't know. Mind you, Mark Donny McLeod is up there in Lancashire. He says there's quite a bit of the white stuff outside, but somebody's been out clearing a path. Keith Richards with a straw. I'll let somebody else work out what that means. Very icy and slippery in where Ed is, in Greenwich. Always worries me with a lot of old ladies who live next door. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? There's a lot of oldish people who are tottering in the snow to get their jabs. And it would be just horrible, wouldn't it, if a poor little old lady going off to the GP surgery to get the old virus jab slips over beforehand and ends up in hospital with a broken leg, not, perfectly fine, but has a broken limb and is stuck in hospital only because they were trying to prevent themselves from getting ill to go to hospital. And I'm sure that happens. I'm sure, we don't hear about those sort of things, but I'm sure. It's minus 35 in parts of Canada, says Paul Cockrell. That is cold. So,
I
think we're
-3. Do you know?
Exhill,
I
actually,
haven't looked. I
tonight,
haven't been
-3,
outside.
that's
I
about it.
didn't. I went outside this morning first thing because I thought it's all going to go here in Worthing. Nothing stays very long. So I went out, quickly did a video, and I wanted to show the masses of mount, you know, the verges up to 10 foot high with the big flurries of snow and the, you know, all of that, and the people digging themselves out of there. I wanted to show all of that. So I went out, did my video for tomorrow, convinced that it would all be gone by lunchtime. And it sort of maintained this fake, it's like fake Christmas snow down here, isn't it, Julia? It's this sort of stuff you put on a tree, like with icing sugar or something.
Yeah, it's really light and fluffy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not
One little breath on it and it just melts.
exactly. Not enough for yellow snow. So to speak. So Sean, you're at home. Are you a key worker?
No, I work as a sort of design training and things like that, so I can actually easily work from home, which is a blessing, really. It's actually been more busy since we've all been working from home anyway, so it's
Piling in. I suppose
the work's piling in.
Yeah,
I
suppose you can do more because you haven't got to do all the travelling anymore. Oh.
Well, I used to walk to work, and I've used to walk about 40 minutes there and 40 minutes back every day, so I had loads of walking in. So seeing your videos got me outside again. I do a daily exercise, about half an hour every day, just to fill up that loss of walking. But
there
yeah,
must be
so much.
Just think, I mean, the gyms.
That's the only thing I miss.
I mean, I know gyms at the moment are tanking because, you know, you can't go to gyms and all of that, but they must be just waiting for the moment when they can open again and get their memberships open, because there must be millions of people who are going, I've got to go, I've got to lose this weight, lockdown, I'm 17 stone now, I never was 13 earlier. And you know, maybe they'll all be piling into the gym, and of course hopefully when the pubs are open, people will be piling into the pubs and be guzzling too much that they need then to go to the gym to exercise. So hopefully all these sort of things that have been locked down will actually help each other. Of course, nobody's got any money to do all of this because a lot of people have lost their jobs, unfortunately. Which is
yeah. I think walking though is a tremendous.
It's so
exercise.
underrated, isn't it?
It proves how much, because I put through a bit of. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so easy to do.
And you can.
Just a normal
the
walk.
thing about walking is you can build
do
up. You know, how far, how long, how fast, and all that. You can dawdle along and just do a little bit, and then you can go marching along and take your snacks and sandwiches and what have you, coffee and what have you, and make a day of it. And you just pace yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is monitored by yourself, isn't it? I don't believe in these sort of things. You get on your wrists or
when they
counting
came out, those
things.
flea bits, no, not flea bits, what are they? Fitbits. Ow, what was that? That's a flea bite, that is. Oh, I thought it was a Fitbit. No, it's a flea bit, that one. Yeah, I mean, you know, people seem to be obsessed in counting things, don't they? It's like, you know, got to do 100 steps or 1,000 steps and all of that. I just think, just go for a walk, you know, just go for half an hour and do that every day and you'll be all right. 3 miles. Yeah, everybody's doing. Yeah, exactly. And the metabolism and what you eat and all of that, you can just gauge it yourself.
Quite.
Exactly. Any good comments out there, lovely Julia?
Cannot wait much longer for the climbing walls to open, says Colonel Cragratty.
Yeah.
And Ed Loud says, I don't know, I was even heavier in my gym days. Ha ha ha. He says he feels much fitter since he stopped going to the gym, which was a long time ago.
Yeah, but he was a bodybuilder, though, wasn't he? I mean, he was a body. That was the whole purpose. Not everybody's going. Some people are just doing the machines to be more aerobic.
Station Master's Choice says, feel better for it, not losing weight, it seems, but need a belt for his shorts now.
Ah, yeah. There you
Getting
go.
trimmer then.
Getting trimmer. This is it. You do get. I mean, I lost weight when I started to do all my walks. Also, cutting down on all the snacks and things is another bit. You know, if you can cut your sugar intake and your bars of chocolate and stuff and go walking and eat just a bit healthier, that's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not as easy for some people, but, you know.
Well, it's different when, you know, you've got kids and you've got all the temptations and you're stuck. I mean, it's very difficult now. I don't know how people cope. So, but, you know, it's...
Mark Donny McLeod says, just go for a walk until you're cream crackered. You'll be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not really you're not putting too much strain and stress on the body. And you don't get that many people, you know, you always hear runners. There's a lot of people who go running, but you always hear them 20, 30 years later going, well, of course, I knackered my knees, didn't I, going running?
Yeah, this is why I like swimming. I love swimming lengths. Of course, haven't been for years. But I should get myself out in that water, in the sea. I'm only 300 meters from it, but
yeah,
that's just cold, even in summer.
Go out there tomorrow. I'll come down and film it for you so that the rest of us can have a bit of a laugh.
I need myself a nice dry suit first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Shall we? Yes, exactly.
Oh, and a mermaid unifin. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. I really want one. I really want one.
Yeah. But don't you need your feet to sort of, you know, protect yourself from drowning?
You got arms? I can tread water.
Sean looks like he's probably old enough to remember the man from Atlantis. Do you remember the man? No, I don't mean personally, but
Yes,
with Patrick Duffy, who was in not Dad's Army, Dallas. Dad's
Dallas.
Army. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, and he had this very strange swimming way, and they wanted to you know, I mean, I think they said please don't swim like him because it's actually quite dangerous. You can't properly swim like that. But they did it for the cameras, you know, because he was supposedly a humanoid merman.
Do you mean the butterfly stroke?
Yeah.
What like this?
Oh no, I mean the butterfly strokes. Oh, that's the front crawl.
Oh right, fair enough.
You were doing the butterfly strokes where they do like a weird wiggle of the body and both arms come out and in and out.
No. Well, I can't remember.
I never got hang of that.
He just didn't do anything with his legs. His legs sort of undulated behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Who did you say that was?
It was called the Atlantis Man from Atlantis. And it was an actor called Patrick Duffy, who was in Dallas, and I can't remember the character in Dallas, but he was one of the oil. Bobby, that's right. Bobby.
Oh, Bobby, what do I remember?
Anyway, everybody, join in.
Everybody.
We're going to watch another video now because, we can do that. And they're going to see if Sean can see it. Now, I've noticed that it may be my system, it may be the internet. I've had a bit of a strange thing with the internet tonight, but Sean on my screen is a bit out of sync. I don't know if it's the same with Julia.
All three of you are well out of sync. I don't know which.
Yeah.
I can hear you, but obviously I can hear you, and I know that it's coming out all right. I can see Julia now doing that. You've got your fingers crossed together like that. I've only got one hand, but you're just doing that. So now Julia's doing something like this. So it's like when I phoned in the other day, it was about a minute delay because I got back and I was listening to our conversation, finishing up on Tom Bacon. I went, that's a long.
There's a trick for catching up. You can put it on like 1.25 speed and it'll slowly catch up.
Oh, right.
And it will switch to normal speed again. I only discovered that like last week.
That's on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
Because on this should all be relatively in real time, but of course it does depend on the picture. Will always lag behind the audio because the audio is given preference because otherwise we couldn't have a conversation. Yeah. Marine Boy, says Dave of you. I remember Marine Boy with Oxygum. That was great. I can almost hear the theme. I used to love Marine Boy when I was a kid. Not now. He's too grown up and much too wrinkly for me.
I've
Anyway.
just watched a clip from Man from
Man from Atlantis.
Yeah, I've just watched a clip of him swimming. That is weird. It's kind of like the butterfly stroke with the body, but then his arms, he's kind of just, I don't know.
Yeah, I do. I remember I do remember the announcement saying, "Don't copy this type of swimming because it was very, very dangerous." Because basically you've got no control. But because he was the man from Atlantis, that's what made him be able to do it. Yeah, that's
So he
it.
got the
Basically,
job
he's
'cause he couldn't
drowning,
swim.
and they just slow it down in slow motion. Right, so we are going to go and have a little watch of a video. Now, Sean, you'll have to watch the video on YouTube because you won't get the sound from me. I mean, you'll see it, but you won't get the sound if you see
What I do,
that's fine.
what I do is mute myself on Ninja, and then unmute the YouTube stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to bother with any of that, of course, because Mission Control has all the flashing lights and it has Eric down there in the basement.
That's right, sir. You don't have to worry because I do all the work, don't I, sir? Don't I, sir?
Yes, all right, Eric. All right, calm down. Right, okay, so we're going to go into the video box. Oh, gosh, hang on, bear with me. That's not supposed to happen. We're going in the video box. I'm in the video box now. Sorry about that blast. Everyone's gone, oh God, what was going on there? And so Richard McGowan has been to the beach and by Moresby Hall, I've got written down here. So let's go and find out what Rich has been up to over there.
The church on the hill was built on the site of an old Roman fort. That's a signpost to the Isle of Man, to the west across the Irish Sea. And there's St Bridget's Church, which was built in the early 1800s. There was an earlier church built on this site in the 13th century, and this chancel arch is all that remains. That's the old hall just adjacent to the church, which was built at the end of the 16th century. It's got a few ghost stories attached to it, and it was featured on one of the TV series Most Haunted a few years ago. And there's a view of the hall, the church, and the old arch, and the Irish Sea beyond, the Isle of Man on the horizon.
How about that? Fascinating to see that. And I think when you sent me the email, Richard, you said it was built on part of Hadrian's Wall or part of, I can't remember exactly what you said now because I thought, oh, that's interesting. But lovely old hall. Was the windows on the church, maybe it's just this monitor I'm looking on it looked like they were either just plate glass windows or not boarded, but metalled up. I couldn't quite work out from that, but a beautiful old church and a lovely spot. How interesting is that? Let me just come back out of that and into our threesome. Stargate. Ah. I'm afraid I don't know Stargate. Are you a sci-fi fan, Sean? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's my fault. I've muted. Yeah, I had to mute. I had to mute because there was some audio coming in the middle of that, and I realised I
Yeah,
could.
that wasn't my fault this time.
No, I appreciate that. So, Sean, sorry, I'll ask you that again. It's my fault there. I'd had you muted this end. Are you a sci-fi fan?
Yeah, very much so. Mainly things like Blake 7,
Blake 7
Star
from the
Wars, bit of
past.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Apparently, the audience
Not a
can't hear
tricky.
me. Just sorry, interjected.
Yeah, we watched.
Oh, they can't hear you.
Oh, apparently we're both muted. Julia and Sean muted.
Well, you're going out. I can see you're going out, and you're not muted here. You may have been muted.
Oh, hang on.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, not at all. I can see
that's
the
really
audio is definitely going out.
Okay, we can now. Apparently, we're good.
All
We're
right,
good.
okay, that's cool. Sorry about that. There may have just been a moment where you were a bit muted, and I've corrected it. Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, it was a sci-fi.
sorry,
Yeah,
what was
Blake
the question?
7. That goes back a long way, doesn't it? Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, we watched the whole series last year. I got him on DVD. My wife was hooked on him as well, which was great. So yeah, and I watched him when I was
Yeah,
in the 80s, weren't they?
the
Fantastic
head
series.
guy,
Great ending.
the whatever his name was, I can't remember his name, but the Blake, I suppose it is.
Blake.
Gareth. Yeah,
Gareth.
I'd never watched the whole lot. I
Oh,
got
yeah,
a bit
Blake.
bored with it when I was a kid. But he disappears, doesn't he, halfway through?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, you're right. You just think, well, you just want the laser fights and all that. But when you get older,
Yeah.
you really appreciate the story writing, the creation from people like Nation. He does disappear in the end of the second series. I don't want to give the game away for people that are watching it because I
Oh,
think
is
it's
it?
going
Oh,
out on
okay.
Netflix or one of those channels at the moment. So yeah, getting a new audience. But he does reappear. But it's Blake's 7, so it's the 7 people and a few computers and things that sort of not belong to him, but he sort of led them out in rebellion, as it
Yeah,
were.
I can't
the
I
future
can't
of
remember
our-
really
of
much
our
other than
galaxy.
Blake himself and the other what's the other actor? Paul somebody or other. Who was what? Sorry. Yeah, Paul Darrow.
Paul Darrow.
Who was the sort of
played Avon.
nasty bit of work, really, or the
He was a complex person, but he was really the leader out of the two of them. They're always, if you watch the stories through and you look at the drama and the characters and how they grow and grow apart, you see them all the time competing with each other. It's lots of fun stories, always different as well, and special effects are very amusing because they had a budget of about
Yes.
64 quid for the first series. It's like crazy. Oh, sorry. About
yeah.
264
Well,
quid,
and
something
it
like
comes over, doesn't it? It comes
that. Oh,
over.
64.
I mean, but I remember at the time, even people would think that the sets were more wobbly than Crossroads. And because every time anybody, I mean, in Crossroads, bow, 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 bow. That
It's coming up.
that always got the Mickey taken because anybody opened the door, all the walls shook. Oh, but it was classic times of classic television. Paul Darrow was Avon. There we go. Was Paul Darrow? Was he was married to that woman who used to go around knocking on people's doors a lot, selling makeup, wasn't he? The Avon lady. The Avon lady.
Marjorie, the Avon lady. Yes, they always wanted to get him on the communicator, saying when they beamed him down, or actually put him down, it's a Star Trek term, but they put him down because they had little, what are they called? They evaporate from somewhere and turn up on the planet. And you always want to go, transporter, thank you.
They would never say.
Avon call him, but you'd never say it. Although they nearly made him once say Doctor Who, because one of the stories, there was a lady doctor in it, who he didn't kill her, but he let her die to save the ship. And they said, so what about Dr. Barrymore or something? And they wanted him to say Doctor Who, but he didn't. He just said, what? Who's Dr. Barrymore or something?
Yeah.
He said, I'm not saying that.
I guess that kind of thing, those sort of obvious little things to try and get the actors to say these things must have been something that's rife in television, trying to get them. Because they play all sorts of tricks, don't they? They read out lyrics from They do that in live radio shows and things where they sort of try to sneak in lyrics from 10 different songs from famous people. Yeah.
I've actually sorry, go on.
I used to write. Sorry, just very quickly. I used to write some plays a while ago in the Amateur Dramatics Day, and we've always got dogs. They're sort of babies, so to speak, and I'd always get their names included in the script somewhere along. And one of the lines was we had it was a sunset, and the line was all a beautiful amber sky. And a dog called Amber and a dog called Sky.
Yes.
So I'll try and get it into one. Nobody would know, but
Yeah.
beautiful.
So if you had a
Amber
dog
Sky.
called Rover, it might be a bit difficult to. Yeah. Let's go and have a look at the beautiful amber
Yeah.
sky sitting in our Rover.
Funny because 2 of my cats are named after gems, from the World of Warcraft games that I am still addicted to, but I don't play. But yeah, there's Emerald Dream and Sapphire Sky Sapphire, but I call it just Sapphire and Emerald. Random piece of information.
Random bit of knowledge there.
Great names.
Lots of people talking about their old favourite television things. I like Deep Space Nine. That was the best of the Star Trek.
I did like that one a lot. Yeah.
I could never understand how did anybody not like the original Star Trek, and then
I liked
then the rest just seemed to be to me. That was like, who are these other people playing at Star Trek? It was like, think of something else. If you can't get the original actors, go and do a different outer space thing.
Because it's a wonderful little sandbox for more and more people to play in. Bring more characters in, bring more situations.
Yeah, I watched a few with the bald bloke, whatever his name, Jean Picard, and
Jean-Luc Picard,
and then the guy who sort of had this silly pair of glasses that actually just looked like one of those hair clip things that women have that had slid.
It actually was, but just obviously adapted.
Yeah, there you go. You see, I mean,
he used to get really bad pains on his face from wearing that thing.
I'm not surprised.
That's a real actor, pressing on through damaging
That's
pain.
a real actor.
Wow, come on.
Oh,
Scars for life.
I was going to say.
It could just
Yeah,
be.
I was going to say I've Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle. Do I know? Hang on a minute.
Well,
Eric,
not
who's
personally, obviously,
Meghan Markle?
Meghan Markle, sir. Wait a minute, I'll have a look in the encyclopedia of people we ought to know about, but we have no idea who they are, sir. Just a second. Was she in that programme with the 3 ferrets?
No, I don't think she was in the programme with. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, Meghan Markle. I think she rings a bell. Harry is wrapped up with her, isn't she?
Yeah.
He?
Yeah. The reason I mentioned it was because
Yeah.
I started watching Suits, the programme that she's most known for.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not watching it because of her, just to say.
Yeah.
I'm watching it because of another actress,
Yeah.
Katherine Heigl, who I recently seen in another Netflix programme that I loved. What was that called? Firefly Lane.
So was she any good in this Suits?
Well, I haven't actually seen Katherine Heigl. Oh, what? Meghan Markle?
Yeah, Meghan.
Yeah, she's a pretty good actress, I have to say. But it doesn't make me like her any more or less.
Is
but-
she wearing a suit?
Yeah, well, a skirt suit, yes.
A skirt suit.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very smart.
What's it? What? Well, no, don't worry. I'm sure it's. Is it about lawyers or accountants or something like that
Lawyers.
in America?
Lawyers, yeah.
What's so interesting about lawyers?
Well, I was just intrigued because I, kind of fell in love with the Katherine Heigl actress. So I wanted to see something that she had been in previously, and it was this. Haven't got to the bit where she's in it yet, but
right.
I am enjoying it.
Yeah.
The reason I was saying that is because since starting watching it a couple of days ago, I've seen about 3 different sci-fi actors that have, been in Star Trek and another Firefly, Serenity. The film was Serenity. No, the film was Firefly. The series was Serenity. But no, this Suits. It's almost like recycling sci-fi actors.
It's
I
a bit
think
like the Bill, really. When I used to do extra work in the Bill, you'd meet all these people who'd been in other things, and everybody did the Bill. They would just have a day on that as being a bit of a gangster or a bit of. It was sort of again, like you said, a bit of a sandbox, soundbox,
Yeah.
sandpaper.
Sandbox.
Oh,
wanted to get on the Morecambe
yes.
and Wise show, didn't they? So,
Morecambe and Wise show, Andre Previn,
yeah,
and
get on the Morecambe and
all
Wise
these.
show.
Richard
Yeah.
Baker. You remember Richard Baker when they did the musical of, well, whatever it was now, Hello Sailor, or something? Not Hello Sailor. Nothing like a
There is
day.
nothing like a Dane. Nothing.
Yes, that's
Spinning
it.
over. Happy sailors.
Wasn't Meghan Markle in that transmission with Harry Price? Harry Prince. Harry. Sorry. Rod Holbone says, wasn't Meghan Markle? Yeah. Lawyers, Solicitors, a new kind of vampire film. Yeah, that's it. The parasites.
Parasites.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Mungo and Midge, says Mike. Yeah, I think Meghan Markle was in Mary Mungo and Midge. Not quite sure which one of those she was. But she was certainly going up the elevator quite a lot until she got to Harry's top penthouse suite. Anyway, I think we'll have a look at some art now, because we do have some art to have a look at. Let's go into the art gallery. So here we are in the art gallery, and this is from Lance, Frog in a Box, who says, I hope you have a lovely weekend out there in the freezing cold, Richard. I'm staying inside. He says, I enclose some art, but this time it's my niece's work. My sister's daughter, Georgina. I've got a daughter called Georgie, but she's in New Zealand, so it's not hers. As you'll hopefully see, art certainly runs in the family tree. You had my Uncle John's paintings, which we thoroughly enjoyed. My cousin Johnny's psychedelic art. This time, my niece Georgina's paintings. Plus, at the beginning, you had my own attempt of a couple of drawings, which were very novice-y. But you have to start somewhere. Quite right, you do. Thank you once again for making a platform available to share everyone's art. I'm sure I speak for all that have been involved. Mind how you go. Right, here we go. So this is Georgina's art, and I'm just going to, excuse me, my dinner repeating itself. I don't know what it was. I think it was a soliloquy. But here we go. Let's just share these for you. So this is, it's curious stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I always struggle with this type of thing, because I can see that what looks like to me mistakes or blemishes on a really nice painting is deliberate. But to me, I struggle with that, because I wonder why, when you can see that underneath the blemishes, that actually there's some really good art going on.
Do you think it's a self-portrait?
I don't know. I know no more. If Lance is out there, maybe he can give us a bit more info.
Yeah. Because it looks like a burnt paper effect over the top of it, and on the eye and stuff.
Are you an art? Yeah, go on, Sean.
Looks like a mixture of Jodie Whittaker and Debbie Harry.
That's a bit, doesn't it?
Together there.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. I think it's a lovely piece, to be honest. Of course, I'm going to be honest. I'm always honest.
Yeah. Why lie? Okay. Here is the next one, which is a bit risque.
Oh.
I'll just blow that up so that people can see it a bit. I'm looking at that rose, of course, with such astonishment.
I mean, it's very good. I'm a bit confused by it, though.
I mean, you know, paintings are supposed to say, not about supposed to, but they either reflect the artist, do they, or they're trying to communicate. So it's a means of communication of something. One wonders when I see these, it's challenging, I suppose. Now, Andrew Norris would be the person to make good criticism, because I can't really criticise, but all I can do is just show you for what it is. Is the female face. It's what, sorry?
It's an unusual pose.
Yeah, what is the two fingers? I mean, the two fingers, I feel like they should be over the nipple.
Yes, because the roses.
Yeah, why would you be holding? I don't know. It's confusing me a little.
It makes
Yes,
you look,
that's
though,
true.
doesn't
I
it?
mean,
That's
if it's just a face, well, here is just a face, but the previous one, if it was just the face, you would probably not give it quite so much look. Whereas when things are, when there's something sort of a bit weird about it, it makes you look further, I suppose.
I like this piece. I like this piece. I liked the first piece as well. I liked the second piece too, but this is my favourite, I think.
And I get an indication of how big this is by the fact that there's the skirting board behind it and the carpet. So it looks like it's about a foot, maybe a foot and a half tall. So it's quite a nice sized piece.
I like the way she's just looking off camera as such, or just to the side.
Yeah, not at you as the viewer.
Yeah, I like the shading on it, like she's being lit from above in front.
I mean, it's a tremendous skill. Georgina's clearly got great skill to be able to do it. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start. And here we go. It's another selection here.
Wow, I love that piece in the middle. I mean, that's not two paintings, is it? In the middle, that's one painting with a.
I think it's just one painting. Yeah, it's not two joined together to make one. I think that's the intention. It's almost like
two halves of the same coin as such.
Yeah, people from different sides of the world. Where I guess, look, you've got the warrior type woman with the war makeup and or not necessarily war, but tribal makeup with the rings and things, and then you've got modern day woman with the sort of tokenistic type of tribal stuff, which is but is tattoos and rings and things, and showing really it is the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think they're both modern women, but like you say, it's just two differing aspects.
Yeah.
That is fascinating. I love it.
So
I really like that.
That's good, because it does make you think. Even if you don't like it as something for your own personal house, it does make you think, and I think that's really interesting, because it makes you realise that actually, when you see somebody with tattoos and things, it's very much the same culture in a way as what the tribal woman has. I mean, I'm using tribal as a term. I don't know whether that's these days is.
I believe that is an acceptable term.
So the piece on the right, the green man, as it were. I mean, he just looks quite stern and frightening.
Yeah, it's almost kind of stormy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love the tree-lined lane on the left, but of course I'd say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
And they're almost mirror images, but not quite.
Lovely.
So yeah, excuse me, yawning. That is.
Keeping up, are we?
Yeah, you are actually. That's our lot of Lance's niece's art, Georgina. Thank you very much, Lance, for sending that in.
Thank you.
Not sure if he's out there or not. I hope he is. But do tell Georgina and thank her very much for sending that in. That was fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you do any drawing, Sean?
No, it's not a thing that
No.
I've dabbled in. I used to draw. I think I somehow got an O level at school without actually getting a certificate. I just drew some pictures.
Oh, right.
Apparently passed your O level. And then
Yeah, that was. That sounds like a good old day then, to get your art. Just draw some pictures and get.
A crunched up Coca-Cola can, a pair of shoes I drew, and I got an O level for it.
Well, you should have taken it to the Tate Gallery. You may have sold it and got 50,000. I mean, I was very tempted once I'd seen that cow in formaldehyde or whatever, is to get my pet hamster and my dog and slice them up, or just take a bowl of dog food and put it in a glass cage and say dog food. The pedigree of this dog food is second to none. Anyway, I guess the less of my thoughts on art is probably best. How are we doing? I like the Debbie Harry one, says Benita.
Yeah, the first picture looked like Debbie Harry. Yeah, that was really nice.
Such noble faces on the panel tonight, says John B.
He also says, I do painting by numbers, lol.
Yeah, that's really my approach. I've tried. I'm going to try doing some more art soon with my history thing. I think I'm working that bit out. Right, okay. So we have. Where are we doing on the time? It's only 9 o'clock. So Pete Telling has sent in some pictures. Well, let's have a look at these whilst we're here. This is Colonel Craig Ratty, of course. And he says in his email to me, he says, Richard, after the discussion the other day about climbing gear that I carry up the rock face, here are some pictures close up of me with the gear on my harness so you can appreciate how much there is. Because it just seems to me when we were watching him how heavy it must be. You know, he's not only got to lift himself, but he's also got a ton of ironmongery hanging off the back of him. So he says we use 3 main styles. You can see the different styles on my harness, along with the carabiners, or carabiners, beg your pardon, I'm not very good at strange words, and slings to clip them up the rope. So picture 1, hexagonal hollow section of hexes, which are derived from when they used large old hex nuts from the mines, drilled out and slung them on a cord. Oh, I see. Okay, let's have a look at the hexes then. I think this is picture 1. I'm not quite sure if this is picture 1. They come in whatever order they're in. So I guess these here are the hexes then. These sort of old nuts that are in. Look at it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. Reminds me of a character I once played in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum. I played Tintinabula. And she was covered in bells, basically, and rattles, and I imagine him walking around sounding like he's got the keys to Fort Knox, I reckon.
Next up is what he's got. Oh, I don't think these relate to the pictures. Okay, so I'll just read out the stuff and then we can work out the rest. Wedges or rocks, which are derived from when ordinary small pebbles or rocks are picked up and jammed into cracks with a cord tied round them. That sounds dodgy. And mechanical cams or frens invented in the USA in the 70s for wall climbing where nothing else fitted and they could stay in parallel cracks by their camming action. We also use slings of materials which are put over a spike or are jammed in the rock in a crack. All the gear is placed in a crack and clipped to the leader's rope on the carabiner. How do you say it? Carabiner. It looks like
We've lost Sean's
fallen off. All the climbing gear is tested and can take a static load of about 1.8 to 2.4 metric tons. So it can easily fit in a car. I have no idea how 1.4 to 2.8 metric tons is. But anyway, so let's have a look at more of this gear. And I'll see if I can go a bit closer for you. Wow. I mean, to me, that is basically a picture of all the wires at the bottom of my desk here in the studio of the spaghetti that feeds the mixing desks that occasionally, if I'm lucky, Eric goes and sorts out. Here's some more of these beastie things. My God.
He says it's all lightweight aluminium, so it shouldn't weigh too much.
No, but it just seems like, well, I mean, obviously you've got to have it, haven't you? Because you wouldn't want to climb up there without it.
No, you want to have it and not need it rather than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
When you're up on a side of a cliff face like that.
Look at that. I mean, there's lots of handholds and things, but that looks quite crumbly.
Very brave indeed.
Very brave. And I think that's the last picture there. Look at that. Very good. I don't know whether we've convinced anybody to go rock climbing as a result of this. If you would like to do it, have a word with Colonel Craig Ratty, and I'm sure he'll be able to direct you to the best place to do it.
Oh, apparently that was Dancing Ledge in Swanage.
Oh, was it? Oh, that's where I went. I didn't, because when I went to Dancing Ledge, I didn't need any of that climbing stuff. I just used my own hands, and I jumped the 2 foot down to the ledge.
Do you know what? As much thought of climbing a face like that scares the bejeebers out of me. I would love to give it a go just to, push myself a bit.
We got Sean back. Hello, Sean.
Hello, Sean.
Hello.
I don't know what happened then. It fell off or something.
No, I just clicked it off by
Oh,
mistake.
that can happen. That can happen.
You didn't hear the word that followed afterwards, which was good. It's a bit like cobblers. But
Yes, cobblers. Well, we've had cobblers in this show, haven't we? When
Plenty of that.
yeah, when Roy fell off in the water, bless his socks. Looking forward to his next misadventure. I mean, his next adventure. Clearly.
My mum, via my dad's account, says, Julia, you liked rock climbing. Yeah, I liked rock climbing, but it wasn't really rock climbing. It was climbing on indoor climbing walls, and that's less scary for some reason. I don't know.
And of course, the indoor climbing walls, they've got those soft landing
Oh yeah,
mats.
big mats to land on.
So
there is that.
That does make a big difference.
And the handholds are ergonomically designed for hands to hold. So, you know, the rock faces aren't. That's the scary thing.
Although I noticed that Colonel Cragratty says that it looks scarier. I've missed it now.
Safer than
it looks. Nearly all climbs are very safe.
Yeah.
And I guess they have to be, otherwise we'd be hearing about the accidents, wouldn't we? Guess what I found, says Jeffrey Harrison. Oh, Richard, guess what I have found? A bag full of Ys and the Sydney 8... wires, I think it means, and the Cine 8 camera. It's the autocorrect is changing it from Cine 8 or Super 8 possibly to fantastic. Well done, Jeffrey's been up in his loft gauging through. I bet everybody's got stuff in their loft that they never knew they had.
Station Master's Choice says, full respect to the Colonel for his attention to safety and detail. Would that all climbers did the same? I don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, no, full respect to him for being able to do that.
And Mike Stevens says, I had to climb a near vertical wall on the way back from Scarfell Pike, but as there was no choice to do it, I did it with just boots and hands. Blimey.
Wow.
No clothes, just boots and hands. Naked man on a naked wall. Talking of Mike Stevens, we have a video of Mike too. Now, this isn't him naked against a naked wall. I can assure you about that. It's John Clare's calendar is what I've got written down here. So let's have a look and see what Mike Stevens is up to. I feel I've got a bit of a sore throat coming, actually.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I don't know what
Your
that
glands
is.
up.
Yeah, I feel my glands are coming up. It's that time of year, isn't it, where all colds and things, of course it could be COVID, but I may be dead by Christmas. I don't know which Christmas. Might be, Christmas is a few years hence, hopefully. Let's go into the crackerjack box of fun. The crackerjack box. Couldn't think what the sodding thing was called. The video. I know what I'm talking about. Oh, it's all live, isn't it? So this is Mike Stevens with John Clare's calendar.
Well, good evening, gentlefolks all. Mike here. And tonight's poem would be part of the Shepherd's Calendar by John Clare. This is February. I thought I'd start with that, just the first part. The snow has left the cottage top, the thatch moss grows in brighter green, and eaves in quick succession drop, where grinning icicles have been, pit-patting with a pleasant noise, in tubs set by the cottage door, while ducks and geese with happy joys plunge in the yard pond, brimming o'er. The sun peeps through the window pane, which children mark with laughing eye, and in the wet street steal again, to tell each other spring is nigh. Then as young hope the past recalls, in playing groups they often draw, to build beside the sunny walls their springtime huts of stick or straw. And oft in pleasure's dreams they hie, round homesteads by the village side, scratching the hedgerow mosses by, where painted pooty shells abide, mistaking oft the ivy spray for leaves that come with budding spring, and wondering in their search for play why birds delay to build and sing. The milkmaid singing leaves her bed, as glad as happy thoughts can be, while magpies chatter o'er her head, as jocund in the change as she. Her cows around the closes stay, nor lingering wait the foddering boy, tossing the molehills in their play, and staring round with frolic joy. Well, that's the first 4 verses of February by John Clare. Very, very underrated in his day, but I think most people now believe he's a wonderful poet. Very, very close to nature, as I hope you will be able to hear from the beautiful words he composed there. Okay, this is Mike signing off, and good night, gentlefolks all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you very much, Mike, for the poem there. I have to say, I was very intrigued by your bookcase behind you. I found that rather fascinating. So, Mike, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to give us a video where you show us some of the books on that rather full and amazing-looking bookcase. Always interested. First thing I do when I go around to other people's houses, you go in and they say, oh, go in, make yourself at home, is, of course, I roll up the carpet and shove it in my car. And no, first thing I do is I look at people's books, because
Books and music and films.
Yes. I'm not very good on the music, but definitely the books are the things that attract me, but yeah, films and that sort of thing.
Speaking of, I quite miss reading the titles in your library.
Oh, yes. Sean, are you a book man? Oh, hang on, I got to unmute you again. Sorry, I did that I'm learning how to do this, the 3 guest thing. So let me ask that. Nice. We didn't hear a word of it, but as long as you get Pavlova with it, it's all right. Yeah, so are you a bit of a book fiend?
I have a few, yes, too few to mention. A bit of a mixture, because I was thinking when you were talking there and thinking you can tell a lot about people from their books, can't you? The books that they have.
Yes.
Not just what they're interested in, but what they keep. I mean, we've all thrown books away, haven't we, that we really thought, oh, I wish I kept hold of that. But yeah,
so give us an indication then of 3 books that you have on your shelf.
Right. Well, there's lots of books about. Oh, let me think. Well, first of all, I'll go with something everybody will know, which is a biography of the lovely Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford, was she the one that was in Brief Encounter, or what was the other film?
No, I don't. She's done loads. Oh God, how can I forget them all? She's done 74. There's Baby Jane with. Probably I can't see some things that are coming up, but they're probably shouting out all the titles of the films that she's done.
Loads, yeah.
Guitar. Oh, loads. So there's that one. Yeah. What else have I got out there? I've got a funny book by Leonard Rossiter. Earlier on, you mentioned, which I've lost actually. It's kicking around somewhere, and it was something about all the. What's its title? It's about your bedside, your devil's bedside book or something, and it's just little captions and thoughts and quotes that he comes up with, Sod's Law and Murphy's Law and things you go, oh yeah, that does happen. When everyone's really wide awake, why do you feel sleepy, and when do you feel sleepy, everyone's wide awake, that kind of observations. And what else? I've got a few books on Druidry, paganism, real mixture of those. Probably a lot are not familiar titles. I'm trying to think of another one that probably people know. I've got my Carry On film annual. Fantastic.
Oh, really? Carry On film annual. Oh, that sounds really cool.
Yeah, Carry On films. It just tells you about each of the films and the background behind it. And
I think the Carry Ons was such a great series. I mean, considering it was all done on a relative shoestring. And, they didn't want to waste any film, and they didn't like doing more than one take if they could to do it. And it's incredible when you look at the shots and the jokes and the timings of some of those performers back then. And, they would do it in 1 or 2 takes, and that was it. And if it was more than that, Gerald Thomas and Peter Rogers would be a bit down on them, from what I gather.
Yeah, it was very strict, wasn't it? Because they were all stars. I think people like Charlie Hawtrey wanted to have his name come up further and things like that. And then he obviously drank a lot, didn't he? Got sacked. But Sid James was known as the one that could just go straight in and get it line perfect, in one take. I think he had a nickname of One Take Sid or something like that. He knew his lines perfectly, and the delivery and performance of all of them is just outstanding, isn't it? They're just so full of energy. Oh, you did great, Kenneth Williams, by the way, Richard, I must say. You're Kenneth Williams.
I can't do it at the moment. I've got this.
Fantastic.
I know what. I think I know what it is that's going on. I've got a tooth that's got very sharp, and my tongue's rubbed against it, and I'm sure that it's sort of inflamed on the inside. It's affecting my throat at the moment because I want to get a file in there and just file it down, but you can't get to dentists at the moment, can you? I mean, I'm trying to get a dentist, and I've been trying since sort of last year's March, but not on the National Health Service, so
It's very difficult.
I may have to go private.
I think you can get emergency appointments, but I can imagine it'd be very difficult to get a new dentist and register with a new dentist at the moment. Sadly.
Jeffrey Harrison says, I've got 3 books, DIY Readers, Digest Haynes Manual. Yeah.
DIY, Reader's Digest, and Hayes Manual.
Ah, right. Well done.
Yeah.
And the Black and Decker file. There, that would do it. Get something in there.
Well, I wonder if there's a local vet that come and file it down for you.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I've got some nail files somewhere on if they're tough enough.
Well, please don't. Please don't. Ooh.
Probably end up.
Disguise yourself as a small animal.
Yes, that's
and
true.
go to the vets.
Or if I had an animal stuck to my jaw, I could go in and say, look, I've got this rat that's stuck to my jaw, and look, can you just file that down?
Excellent.
Oh, yes, no problem. So it happens all the time here. Rat removal, tooth filing down services.
Rats brown.
Yes.
Brown's a speciality.
The
brown rat.
Yes.
There are
White rat is the one that's run through a tin of paint, isn't it? But they have pink eyes, don't they? Pink eyes,
We've
the
got a
white
white
rats. Do they have
squirrel.
pink eyes?
Not all
Yeah,
white rats have
albino.
pink eyes.
Oh, not
Yeah.
all white rats
We've
have
got an
pink eyes.
No, I love rats, by the way.
Do they have purple eyes?
No.
Yeah.
That's just silly.
Maybe I was thinking if you had a rat, it would have purple eyes.
Well, I certainly wouldn't have one manipulated to be like that. No.
No.
Certainly not. Certainly not.
Well, pink's on its way. Dark pink is a sort of purple, isn't it?
But I tell you what, if I had I have had white rats at one point. They were called huskies just because they had a grey patch here that made them look a bit like, patterned like a husky dog. But I used to wear a lot of purple lipstick as well, so they would end up getting covered in purple lipstick.
You would wear a lot of purple lipstick?
Yeah, surprising, isn't it?
Good.
Shocker.
Good gosh. When do you not wear purple lipstick? That's more to the point.
A lot of the time, actually.
Oh.
It's only for the Vobes show they put makeup on.
Oh, I see. Well, I only ever see you when you've got your full regalia. Are you a lipstick man, Sean?
Occasionally, when the demand is required, you might find it favourable between certain household members. Paint your face.
Yeah,
a
talking
bit.
of painting your
I haven't
face, you
arranged
mentioned
anything.
earlier about Hamdram. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes. I won't blabber.
No,
on
it's
too
all
much,
right.
but I did the
Blabber
other
on.
day. Got extra excited. I'll do a very short version. Yeah, I think it probably started when I joined Hastings Opera when I was a late teenager, and then in an opera society you get to sing great operas and operettas and Gilbert and Sullivan's, and then locally there's societies that will do amateur shows on at the local theatres. In Bexhill, we've got the Dilawar, White Rock and Hastings. But the society I belong to, my wife still belongs to it actually, she's been there for about 30 odd years now, more a life member, is in, what's it called, crikey? Anyway, it's a little society, and they've got their own theatre, their own stage. So I've done lots of things where it's either acting, writing, playing the piano, writing the music, writing the shows. Stage manager for a pantomime.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
That was great fun. I had the whole stage myself, yeah. I was running around like a bat in and out of hell, putting all the things down and doing all the lighting. Kept me fit then. So yeah, loads of stuff. Great days, but work's very busy nowadays, and I'm too tired to come up on the stage. And
Too tired? Oh, too tired at the end of a working day. Yeah, I always had the. I mean, I used to do a bit of
really.
ham dram, but I always got to when I started to work professionally as an entertainer and stuff. It was very difficult because I wanted to, still perform, and as an amateur, you would tend to do more parts that you might want to do than perhaps as a professional actor, because you're at the mercy of whatever comes in. Excuse me. And so I always thought it would be great to just do a bit of ham dram to keep my what do they call it, to keep your hand in. But of course I couldn't guarantee I was available in the evenings, if they booked a week, because if a job came in and I was doing Park Lane hotels in London and things like that, so I would suddenly have to go off and do fire eating outside some hotel somewhere as expensive guests would come in, and I would be there squirting paraffin at them and covering them, much to their chagrin. And some of it used to catch fire, not on them of course, but just in the air. And all that kind of malarkey. So I realised I couldn't continue to do the amateur dramatic thing, but it would have been lovely to have, played some of the parts and have an excuse to overact. But yes, he is.
It's behind you.
He's behind me. Just
Get back down there, Eric. Sorry, sir, I didn't mean to come out, sir. Don't want no one to see my ugly mug.
No, neither do we. Yes, but luckily I can just overact on this now, so he sort of makes up for it in many ways. And I've got...
Yes. Actually, I watched one of your videos earlier when you were doing the waiter thing with that lady.
Oh, that I have to say, the spoof waiters was one of my favourite gigs. I mean, many gigs, especially in the corporate world, you could just do it, and the reaction sometimes, people are so busy with their jobs and trying to earn money and doing deals, and you're around the table trying to entertain, and unless you were a magician doing something really amazing, a lot of the time they wouldn't take any notice. But doing that, sorry, I just had a look at the time. Doing the spoof waiters, I must do a thing about the spoof waiters because it was hilarious, because the posher and the more upper class the gig, the more strict the waitery is. I don't know if that's a proper term, but and the more you can get away with being somewhat stupid. But it's less. Less is more. You only have to do the minor things, and people start picking up on and start noticing this waiter who's not quite doing the right thing. I think I mentioned once before at what do you call reception things, people would have these fluted glasses with champagne, and champagne would be flowing as there came Lord and Lady so-and-so. No, and the waiters would be around with a big bottle of champagne and just, topping up the glasses and all this. And of course I would be there, someone would take a little sip like this. No, tell me, darling, what are you up to at the moment? And I would be there filling it up right to the brim. And they'd go, oh, careful. Oh, I'm sorry. And then you'd move away and they'd take another sip and I'd be straight back, filling it right up. Oh, and they would just see this very keen waiter. And I just loads of little very subtle things. And some people would notice, and as the evening went by, you would get more outrageous. And people would get really cross and all of that. It was hilarious. But I will do I'll do a video about it at some point.
Yeah.
And the thing was, nobody just really questioned it for ages. I mean, at one occasion, just very briefly, the lady booked me for an American firm, and they were moving into new premises. So they brought the staff in to show them the premises, and then they were having this buffet and a little bit of drink to celebrate that they would be moving in next month. This is our new premises, American business, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the Americans, they like their service proper. And I was there being sort of as if I'm from the agency. I'm the duff one that's just been sent because one bloke couldn't turn up, not the usual guy. So it's like, and of course I never lied, because often they would say, where are you from? And I would just say from the agency. because I'm from an entertainment agency, not a catering agency, so I wasn't lying. I just didn't tell the whole truth. And my act went on and on and on, and in the end, you would see me in the doorways drinking out of a bottle and just slightly, so my words, a little bit. What would you just some more? A pan of chocolate. A pan of chocolate. Do we have any pans of chocolate? So it would be probably more subtle than that because you had to read the audience. And at one point, the only person who knew that I was a spoof was the PA to the big boss, and she'd said, "I am taking a bit of a risk on this." Only she knew. The rest of the staff didn't. Not even the other waiting staff. The other waiting staff thought I was just from an agency, a catering agency. So when I started going a bit, they were getting a bit upset with me, going, "You're bringing our firm into a bad name." All the other staff were sort of whispering like this, and eventually the boss, this American boss, he took me to a side room, and he laid into me. And I stood there whilst he was getting more and more cross and agitated and saying, "We've spent a lot of money on this, son. We've got this. This is important. These are all my guests and some clients. And there's you. We've had reports that you're drinking. You've been drunk on this. You've been rude to people. You've been all of this." And then eventually, when he got to the end of his tirade, he said, "So do you think that's the sort of behaviour from a waiter?" And I was standing there, like, just slightly drunk, listening to all of this, and I said, "So is this the way a waiter should behave?" And I said, "Well, if I was a waiter, that would be despicable." I said something like that. I said, if that was true, it was. And he looked at me and he couldn't quite get it because I was still somewhat swaying. And then I said, "I'm actually a spoof waiter." And he went, "Oh my God." And he sort of went, oh, I said, "But I've still got about an hour to go before I finish, so don't say anything." Because he was going, "This is amazing." And he suddenly got it. He really got it, and he loved it. He loved it. He says, "Well, they all think that you are dreadful." And I said, "Yeah, that is the idea." So he really loved it. And of course I said, "Look, don't say anything because we can keep this going. I've got another hour to fill, and you can get more cross with me, and things can happen, and blah blah blah." And he's going, "Oh yeah, this is really great." Of course, he ruined it because he went straight into the room with this massive smile on his face, and of course, I came in trying to look as if I'd just been torn down a shred. And he was just going, "He's not a real waiter. He's not a real waiter. It's and it just sort of went, and it killed it. It just killed it. But it was hilarious because he was a good 5 or 10 minutes, and he's just going on and on and on at me, and I was thinking he's going to hit me in a minute. But it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I loved it.
But you weren't actually drunk, though, were you?
I wasn't drunk. I was drinking water. I was
There
drinking.
you are swaying, and then suddenly you stop. Well, actually, I'm a spoof.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So all the time he's talking, I was just going, "Right, yeah, no, I know it's. I'm really sorry. I know it's terrible. Is this how the waiter should perform?" Well, no. If I was a real, it was just that moment where I cut straight out of character, and he went, "Oh," and the penny dropped. It was hilarious. So that was quite fun. Yeah. Anyway, we've come to the end of our show tonight. We've got through all our stuff. Sean, thank you so much for being our honoured guest. I think we'd...
Thank you. It's been absolutely great. Everything's a bit delayed on here, so I'll look at it properly later.
Yes, I don't no idea how it's going out. Sorry there was no phone calls in tonight's shows, but I thought that would be just too much with the three of us as well.
Get around to that on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we may do this just once a week, have a guest on, just trying to vary the thing and just, make it a bit fun.
My mum's asking, did you still get paid? Well, hope you still got paid.
I still got paid. Oh, yes. That was... Because at one time I thought that he was just going to show me the door. And I kept thinking, whilst he's going, if he throws me out, all my gear is in the other room. But apparently afterwards, the woman who booked me, the PA who was there, she was just I nearly swore then. She was just filling her pants with brown stuff when I went into the side room because she knew what the boss was like. And she was going, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
But as soon as he came out and he had this big beam on his face.
But she was thoroughly relieved then, yeah.
She was so happy.
Ooh.
That was hilarious. Anyway, there we go. Thank you so much, Sean. Thank you, Julia. All good fun. And thanks to everybody who's been out. Thanks to Judith, who's been just checking and making sure everybody's all right. Thanks to all you lovely people who made videos, to Richard McGowan, to Mike Stevens, and to Sean for his wonderful video, to Lance, to Georgina. Thank you, Lance, for sending in the art, and Colonel Craig Ratty for showing us all that gear. I think that was fascinating to see that.
Yes, thank you everybody for everything you've done, and thank you, Richard, for putting it all together.
Well, that's all part of the job, I suppose. Wednesday we'll be back again with more fun and games. Hopefully, there is a sort of video to go out to walk around Worthing in the rain, in the snow. I'm hoping that we have some better snow to go and walk in. But there we are. That's it. So take care, one and all. Thank you so much for coming, and we will see you on the next one. Till next time. Cheerio, Julia. Cheerio, Sean.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Richard. Bye, Julia.
And arrivederci to one and all.
Bye, everyone.
Ta-ta for now. Bye.